Good evening, and tonight on Unsolved Mysteries from the Wasteland, we will hear from the person who unraveled the mystery of the Pioneer Scouts, Ronnie McAdams, Mia, the camp counselor, and Layla McAdams. We will hear from the eyewitness that unraveled this mystery. What happened at the Pioneer Camp? And will it ever be completely solved? We will find out.
Well, it kind of all started when I stumbled across a Pioneer Scout camp up in the Toxic Valley, kind of close to the crater. I was doing a scavenger run, trying to find some materials and stuff to take back home. We needed a few things to fix our defenses and work on our shelter. So it was a rough run. I had been alone for a while, going through the Toxic Valley. I got radiation sickness at one point and had to spend a few days in a tent. It was rough. But then I came across the camp, a Pioneer Scout camp. And I took a look around, and well, I thought, I still hadn't fully recovered from that, from the radiation from the Toxic Valley, and I figured this might be a place to hole up for a while until I felt better. So I just let me look around and see how safe this would be. Surely it has to be better than sleeping out in the tent, right? But I did come across a robot, and I thought it was going to be hostile. So I pulled my weapon and inched toward him, and it turned out to be a scout leader that was still programmed to recruit new scouts, and he seemed fairly aware of what had happened in the world, and he was still there, still offering to teach people on how to survive and different kinds of skills. So after talking to him for a minute, he pointed me toward a cabin that had a collection of terminals where I could take some exams and learn about the scouts. So I went. I talked to him. I went over to the cabin he pointed me to, and there, it was kind of run down, but there was still some working terminals in there. And I pulled up the Pioneer Scout exams, and I took those. I passed a fair amount of the exams. I had to scavenge around for a little bit of knowledge. Luckily, there was some hints and clues here and there. And then I've picked up some things along the way in the Wasteland. So once I started this journey, I went back to the Scout Theater, and they issued me a uniform. So why not? I'll put it on. My next stop was Dolly Sods to learn about insect repellent and some other useful things about etymology. So I headed on over to Dolly Sods, and I thought, okay, I can do this. And we've picked up a couple skills along the way already. I got some archery, some cooking. We'll get this one taken care of. So I headed on over to Dolly's sides and spoke with the scout leader there. And he gave me a bit of knowledge about different insects and what I could do to make some insect repellent. My next stop was the last Pioneer Scout camp over in the forest region, and this is where things got a little bit weird. So I met with the scout leader, Penny, there, and it seems like she was the only one that wasn't kind of aware that the bombs had dropped. She was still kind of glitched in this campfire storytelling mode, and kept talking about some missing campers. Ronnie McAdams, Layla McAdams, and a camp counselor, Mia, that had went missing. And it was confusing at first, and so I searched around the camp and found a few bits and pieces of clues, but a lot of the main stuff was still kind of locked with the scout leader, who was kind of glitched. So her programming wasn't working correctly. And it turns out that we actually just needed to wait for her to cycle through some of her glitching programming to start a campfire tale. And during this tale is when the extra clues triggered about what had happened to these kids in this camp counselor. So we ended up camping there for a while, and some other people came and went as the time went on. But it took days to get the complete story. But I do have the complete story, and I've seen some weird things. So the first part of that story is Ronnie. He was the first one that went missing. So Ronnie was a Pioneer Scout, young boy, really into bugs, and he went out one night late looking for some bugs, against the wishes of his older, probably wiser sister. And he didn't return. He was taken, or something bad had happened to him, and Layla always had a bad feeling that something really awful had happened to Ronnie, but he went missing, and he didn't return. He didn't return at all. So when the story, or the campfire tale, started with the scout leader, when her glitch kind of ran its course and she started this tale, you had to go through that complete night that she went through. So you had to go back through the campfire tale that she was telling at the time. It's an interactive tale, so with the scouts. So there was probably, there was things you had to do. You had to shoot some shadows down. I'm sure that was for the archery kids. You had to gather firewood. I'm sure that was part of their survival training. A lot of things that just regular kids, camp kids, would do in a campfire tale to make it kind of interactive. And then at a point she glitches and tells you that there is a missing camper alert. Well, during the time where you're off shooting at the target or collecting firewood, she disperses clues about what happened to the missing camper around. And I think that is just another glitch in her programming. So then she gives you the alert that there's a camper missing. And when that alert happens, you go find these clues that she's obviously spread around this camp while you were doing other things. So that's, that's just odd. It's an odd glitch, but I don't know if the glitch in her programming is her way of sharing what really happened to these three people, or if it is just a weird glitch. So we did the eight things. I think at the time that we started doing this, we had some other people that had traveled through, and it was kind of squatting at the camp with us. And so I was telling them what I had found out, sharing my notes on what happened, and then we were sharing our experiences at the other camps. And we both, decided this was weird, and that we were gonna just go through the motions and see what we could find out. And that's what we found out about poor Ronnie. Well, after Ronnie went missing, then the camp counselor Mia picked up the case, and she did some investigation and decided to go looking for him. It looked like the clues led to being pretty far away from camp, but she was determined to follow the signs and the stars, so to speak, to figure out what happened, because something odd was going on. So again, with the glitch, we get bits and pieces, and then we figure it out what happened to Mia. So Ronnie is missing, and when Mia went looking for Ronnie, she came across the Flatwoods monster. And then after Mia, so Ronnie's missing. Now Mia's missing. Now Layla is determined to find out what happened to her brother and her camp counselor. So we get into Leia's story, and she was looking into some things that she was probably a little too young to be looking into, some occult items and items like that. But she found clues, and by the holotape that was left, that the scout leader will leave you. It is obvious that when she met up with Mia, she met her death. Mia had been turned into a Wendigo by the Flatwoods monster. So during the days that we spent at this particular Pioneer Scout camp, we did get the complete story. Ronnie went missing, and he probably ran afoul of the Flatwoods monster also, as did Mia. And when Layla went looking, she ran into her camp counselor, Mia, and met her demise at the hands of Mia. So when we went through Layla's story, it actually triggered Mia. Mia and a pack of wolves came to the camp, and we had to end her life. Sadly, there was no other choice there. We had to end her life. After that, me and a few others that had kind of passed through there still kept in touch. We trade letters now. We drop them off at certain points at different camps. And we're going through and completing the training, completing the badges. And we're going to try to strike up a new pioneer camp in this wasteland for anybody who wants to learn survival skills. And just needs a place that is not with the raiders. So we're just we're recruiting good people.
Well, folks, our tale ends there. But have we answered the question really of what happened to Ronnie McAdams, Camp Counselor Mia, and Layla McAdams? And what exactly is the Flatwoods Monster? Until next time, stay safe out there in the wasteland. And you might want to steer clear of the Pioneer Scout camps.